Hey everyone, my name is Dana Fodiatis. I am the founder of Team Empowered Elite. We are a two-time elite team, and today I'm going to be talking to you about attracting your dream team. So first and foremost, I just want to tell you that I have 3 tips for you, and with each of these tips I've kind of incorporated a few things that I feel have been really helpful for me attracting my dream team. So first I should tell you that a lot of this I have learned by failing forward, and just constantly, seeing what works and seeing what doesn't, and, taking that information and really reflecting on what works for me and how I've been able to attract my dream team coaches. So I'm hoping that these are going to be really helpful for you guys to do the same for yourselves and your businesses and with attracting your dream team. So tip number 1 is sharing on social media. So I really want you to do an exercise before you actually, get into doing this. And if you haven't already, sit down and create a list for yourself about the top 10 reasons of why you are a coach. It is very important to be crystal clear of what you love about coaching, because often in the beginning, you're not making a ton of money or you haven't had a ton of success yet. And it's really important for people to understand, why are you a coach? Why do you show up every day? What do you love about this opportunity? What do you see it doing for your impact and your influence and your love of helping others? And how do you see it impacting your future and your vision and where you want to go with this business? So a couple things in terms of breaking down what you're sharing on social media. Like I said, having that list of 10 things is super important, because you can take those 10 concepts and break them down into a bunch of, kind of smaller ideas surrounding each one. And those are things that you're going to be able to share on social media. So for me, for an example, I share a lot about the friendships and the positivity and the community of coaching. I also share a lot about the passion and the fulfillment and the purpose that I have found with coaching, because I had never experienced either one of those really in my life, to feel so connected and feel so grounded and feel so heart-driven with a purpose like we have with our mission with coaching. So I share a lot about those things, and it often, I feel like, sparks interest in other people of that's something they could do too, or that's something they want to feel or have in their lives as well. So what I'm getting at is that with sharing those top 10 things, it's going to really give people a bird's eye view into why you love coaching and why you love what we do. The next thing is celebrating all of the small wins along the way. So oftentimes I have coaches that tell me, I'm not making a ton of money, so I can't really share about that success on social media. And what I want to say is, in the beginning, you really, and in that first, until you are making good money or you're hitting big successes in terms of rank advancements or team growth or things like that, you have to celebrate those small wins and share those things, because what we tend to overlook sometimes is that, small things could make a drastic difference in other people's lives. So we have to have the courage to share how those small wins along the way are really impacting our own lives. For example, I remember maybe a year into coaching, I had to get all of the tires replaced on my car. And as a single mom, unexpected things like that were just something that would throw me for a loop prior to coaching, because I just couldn't fathom how I could, get by like that. And so I shared about how with coaching, it's given, me that kind of feeling of, that desperation isn't there so much anymore, because I have something to fall back on with coaching. So the next thing is about sharing on social media is sharing the lifestyle, sharing your journey, sharing the successes, the struggles, the hard days, the excuses you're overcoming, the personal breakthroughs that you're having, things that you're learning in personal development, and dots that you're connecting for yourself, because that in itself is really inspiring for people to see, who you were when you started versus who you are now and where you're going, and that kind of growth, I think, is just insanely inspiring to see that change in someone, and it shows other people that that's possible for them as well. Also sharing the wins of your challengers and of your coaches. Recognition is not a fourth vital behavior just for fun. It is a fourth vital behavior because it is extremely important, not only for them to feel recognized, but for other people to see that things are happening, things are popping in your world. There are changes occurring that need to be celebrated. The next thing, and this really comes down to authenticity. It's sharing who you are, sharing your quirks, sharing your personality traits, your heart, things that you love, simple things that you like. Do you love coffee? Do you love, mugs with quotes on them? The more that you share in terms of your personality and who you are and what you love, the more that you're going to attract people that love and are, the same way. And those often become really incredible coaches because you connect on a deeper level than you do with other people that don't have common interests or lifestyles or likes. The next thing is attitude. And I think attitude is extremely important in terms of sharing on social media because nobody wants to, get on board with someone that is constantly negative or draining or, kind of knocking other people. There is so much negativity in this world these days, and I really feel that it's important for us to be a light, for us to stick out on social media as somebody that is positive and encouraging and supportive and doing good things and being that change that they want to see in the world. And so I wanted to say that when you're sharing on social media and you're sharing openly about your journey and the struggles and, the vulnerability and things like that, which really attracts people to you, that vulnerability piece is huge. To also be mindful of your attitude when you're sharing the struggles or the harder things, because I think it's really important to show that, you are a glass half full kind of person and that you are human. You do have struggles and you do have obstacles, but sharing it in a way that you're saying, this is how I'm taking action to overcome these things. This is what I'm doing to make this better. And even just in terms of your daily life, like how have your habits changed? How has your mindset changed? Those types of things, because I know that I'm a drastically different person than who I was 3 years ago, and I share a lot about that because it shows other people that that is possible for them too. So, and the last thing in terms of sharing on social media, and this was something that I really struggled with for about the first year and a half of my coaching journey. I was terrified to talk about the hard work and the sacrifices. It was something that I was like, if I don't make this look fun and I don't share about the excitement and the passion and how much I love it, then people aren't going to want to do what I do. But the reality is that this is a business. Your coaching is a job. And it's something where if people want to drastically, change their lives and influence other people, that they're going to have to work hard. So, working, and this is something I'm constantly working on too, working to share the hustle and the grind and the sacrifices and how you juggle making time in your life for coaching. Are you working after your kids go to bed at night? Are you taking an hour to get up early on weekend mornings? How do you juggle it if you're working full time? How do you fit coaching into your life? And why is that hard work something you're willing to do because you love it? Or back to those 10 reasons of why you're coaching. Because I think it's really important that if you want to attract hardworking, motivated coaches who want to run with you, that we have to share the hard work of it and the hustle of it. So my number 2 tip is quality versus quantity. So a lot of times I think that, we're so eager to build a team that we're literally just telling anybody and everybody, to join our team. It's so awesome coaching. It could change your life, and I really think that over time I've learned to be a lot more mindful with how I add to my network and who I have conversations with and who I invite to my team, because like going back to the authenticity thing, the more your coaches are like you in terms of personality and struggles and things they want to overcome and things they want to achieve and dreams that they have for their lives. You know, the more like you that they are, the more that you're going to vibe with them, the higher your energy is going to be together, and the better off your team vibe and team culture is going to be. So really being mindful about who you're adding to your network. You know, think about influencers in your life or people that you're attracted to on social media, what you're attracted to in terms of what they're sharing, and really making an effort to connect with quality people versus just the quantity piece. I remember when I was a newer coach that Keith Callahan had said something along the lines of, you would rather run with 2 than drag 100. And it's just so very true, because you would rather have 2 coaches on your team that get it, that are excited, that are passionate, that want to run with you and lock arms with you and do big things, than drag 100 people that don't really want it, that don't really get it, that don't have that belief. And now in terms of belief, the last part that I want to share about tip number 2 is that I personally have found that often my best coaches come from being challengers first. I'm a firm believer in the vital process and in getting someone committed to their own goals and their own journeys, you know, starting a fitness program, drinking Shakeology, eating better, you know, doing some personal development, and really feeling those changes and seeing those changes for themselves. Because when that happens, it's like this, you know, motivation of this deep belief kicks in when people are on this journey. And they have that for themselves because they feel it, they see it, they notice how it's impacting them and their lives. And those are often people that I invite into the coaching opportunity, because I feel like with that belief, it helps them really dive and make that shift into coaching where they're so passionate and so excited because it has changed their life, that they're so motivated to share that and impact other people, and it really helps them create momentum in the beginning of their coaching journey and beyond that. So I personally, you know, there is once in a while where I talk to somebody about coaching and they were similar to me, where they had, you know, a lot of desperation in their lives, or they had things that they wanted to do, but I'm a firm believer that, you know, the personal belief has to kick in first for them to really be successful with coaching. So being mindful to put, you know, a lot of energy and a lot of value into your challenge groups and checking in on people and ensuring that you're helping them through that process, because they do often become the best coaches. So that was tip number 2. Number 3 is you know, if you've ever read that book, Jab, Jab, Right Hook, this is kind of my tip number 3. So when you're sharing on social media and you're sharing, you know, all of these components of the top reasons why you love coaching, what you do, your journey, who you are, your personality, you know, the wins of yourself and of your team and your coaches, really, you know, throwing in those right hooks of inviting them to something, because people are sitting there watching on the sidelines, watching what you're doing, watching what you're about. And they need to have something where you're saying, okay, I know you've been watching, and I don't know if you've ever considered doing what I do, but my team is running a sneak peek this week to give you a glimpse into coaching. Or we have a webinar this week that you're able to hop on and learn more about coaching and how this could fit into your life. But giving those calls to action is really important. And another thing that, just kind of off on a side note here, I feel was really helpful for me is that, and this kind of goes along with sharing the hard work, is that when I was creating training, so if you're a newer, you know, coach leveling up in leadership, you're going to be creating, you know, systems for yourself and trainings for your team and things to help your team progress as they come on and start to run with the business. And so when I was, you know, doing my trainings and things like that, I was sharing about how I was creating videos, about how I was so excited to give value to my team, to help them do what I did, that they weren't just going to be signed up as a coach and fed to the wolves to figure it out. I think that it's really important for people to see that you're serious about this, that you're treating it like a business, and that you have somewhere to take them on and show them how to do what you do, so that they too can be successful. So sharing those things about kind of the backside of what you're doing with your business, I think is really important too, along with, like I said, the calls to action of inviting them to sneak peeks, to webinars, to hopping on the phone and talking about how coaching could fit into their lives and how it could benefit them. And the last thing that I want to end with is a quote that I heard from Brigitte Linford that I just absolutely loved. And she said, "Passion is more attractive than success." So I think that, it's important to share both, but I think that sharing that passion and the journey and all of the things along the way is more important than it is just to share the end result of the success, because it's like sharing the destination without sharing the journey of how you got to those changes, right? And people need to see both to be able to connect the dots of what is possible for them and that you can help them achieve those things in their lives as well too. So I hope this was helpful. I really hope that implementing these things will help you attract your dream team coaches, because I promise this business just gets so fun and so exciting, and your momentum builds, and the friendships deepen, and it's just so exciting when you found people that want to lock arms and run with you in this business. So have a good day, guys. Bye.